Hello everyone. In this video I am going to show you a game played between Magnus Carlsen and Rafael Felipe Prasca Sosa. Magnus needs no introduction. Magnus Carlsen is the highest rated chess player and the former world chess champion and a 5 times world chess champion, and I can just list on all his accomplishments. And Prasca Sosa is an international master from Venezuela. So this game is played in the 37th Chess Olympiad in the year 2006. So Magnus is playing white in this position and Prasca Sosa is playing black, and this features an important way to take advantage of an inaccuracy which is committed in a French defense. So let's see. Magnus Carlsen opens the game with pawn 4. Prasca plays e6, d4 d5, the French defense is on the board, knight c3, knight f6, e5, knight to d7, and f4. So the Steinitz variation is on the board. Pawn to c5, attacking the center. So all the main moves theory. Knight to f3, knight to c6, bishop to e3, pawn takes, knight takes d4, bishop to c5, developing the pieces and putting pressure in the center. Queen to d2, knight takes, offering a trade, bishop takes, and they trade everything. Bishop takes, queen takes. Okay. Now in this middle game we have two minor pieces, queens and rooks. Let's see who is going to navigate it better. Queen b6, offering a queen trade to Magnus, but Magnus gently declines. But this queen trade also had an eye on this b2 pawn. So as this queen trade is declined, Prasca now grabs the pawn on b2. Yes, that pawn is for free, but it's a poison pawn. You're playing as black and you spent a move taking this pawn, but now the initiative is going to be on the white side. So it's better for Prasca to play knight c5 to develop this bishop and then castle. So it would be better for him to focus on his development. But Prasca grabs a pawn. Now Magnus plays a rook b1, hitting the queen. Queen goes to a3. And now it's knight b5. So this knight b5 attacks the queen. At the same time it threatens knight c7 check, which forks the king and the rook. So if Magnus just goes for this, it's bad because there is king d8 and the knight is hanging and the rook is hanging. So both the pieces are under attack. So Magnus cannot go for it. But Magnus found this knight d6 move which checks, and it forces the king to move to e7, and the king cannot castle and the king is stuck in the center now. Now rook c1 is played. Then Prasca plays b6 to develop the bishop along this diagonal. Or let's see. Bishop to e2. Queen to a5, offering a queen trade. Magnus declines the queen trade by playing c3, because Magnus cannot trade queens in this position because Magnus is down material. Magnus is down 2 pawns in this position. So if he trades queens, then they will reach an endgame where black will be up 2 pawns, but that's usually better for the person who has the material advantage. So Magnus declines the queen trade and f5 is played. This f5 move looks logical, like the king is stuck in the center, so you want to lock the center so that there is no infiltration of other pieces. But the thing is, this f5 move is an inaccuracy. Let's see why. Magnus castles, queen to c5 check, and Magnus moves the king to h1. Okay. Now black plays the move knight f8. This knight had no forward progress in d7, so it's better to just remaneuver it so that the knight can land on g6 and this bishop can see the daylight by going to d7 and to c6. But the plan is too long. This is the key move. You may ask, okay, this is locking everything. This bind is there in the center. But this pawn created what is known as a hook. So now Magnus plays g4, targeting this hook. So that's how you take advantage of these positions. Bishop to d7, takes, e takes f5. Okay. Bishop to f3, going for the central pawn on d5, but the goal is to not immediately grab this pawn. Yeah, it's to just take control of this diagonal and putting pressure in the center. Knight to g6, and now pawn to c4. You may ask, okay, why not bishop d5? Bishop d5 could be played, but then there is rook hits c8, and you cannot actually do this. If you do that, I mean, white's advantage is almost gone in this position, so it's better to not do all that. So yeah, Magnus is up material in this position, but it's just a slight advantage in this case. Okay, then why not why c4 and c4 and why not grab this pawn? Let's see why. If black does nothing, then there is pawn takes, and then the rook is controlling the c file, and that's very good. So Prasca plays this move d4, sacrificing the rook, you know, by this bishop. And okay, black is up 2 pawns. If Magnus trades, then it will be an equal material. So black will be an exchange down, but we'll have 2 pawns for it. But in this position, there is a winning move. So feel free to pause the video and find the winning move that Magnus played. Take your own time. Congratulations if you had found the move knight to b7. Yeah, this is what Magnus played. You may ask, okay, why shouldn't I take this? Taking this is not that good because there is rook takes a8, and you may think, okay, the material is equal, but the advantage is very little for white. It's okay, it's winning, but it takes a lot of time to convert this because black has a lot of compensation on this light square diagonal. So it's not that good idea, and the king is also pretty open over here. So Magnus finds the winning move, which is knight b7, and the idea of this move is to get this queen off of this a3 f8 diagonal. You may ask why. Why should this queen get away from this diagonal? Because only then this queen can land on this sweet spot over there on d6. Let me show you how. So this takes off these 2 squares, the c5, and pawn is taking control of the d6 square. So queen can go to b4 also. So the queen goes to a, guarding the diagonal. But now there is queen takes d4. Black couldn't do anything. Black just gets the bishop out. Bishop e6. But now comes the move rook a1, which hits the queen. The queen is now forced to move away from this diagonal because all these squares are like controlled by the white pieces. So the queen goes to b3, and now white queen infiltrates to d6, delivering the check. So the king moves because the king has to go to f7 to guard this bishop. Sorry about that. Yeah, that's a blooper. Okay, so the king cannot go back there because the bishop will be lost. So the king has to go to f7. Okay, guarding the bishop. Now Magnus finds the move bishop b5, which further puts pressure on to take the bishop. So black just trades, takes with a check, So now king has to move. King goes to e7. Now there is queen d6 check. King goes back to e8. Now there is queen e6 check. So the knight blocks. And in this position, Magnus plays the move knight to d6. And in this position, Prasca Sosa resigned the game and Magnus is victorious. You may ask, okay, why did black resign? If black goes to f8, it's mate in 1, queen f7. And if black goes to d8, it's mate in 9 moves, which is knight d7 check, king e8, and then we just go rook a d1, control this file. The queen cannot do anything, so the queen can, say, go to a4, then you have knight to d6 check. So now, if the king goes there, it's mate, that we know. But if the king comes to the d8 square, that's what is going to happen. There is knight b5 check. Everything is forced over here. King e8, rook to d7, and it's just destruction. Rook on 7th. And you may ask, okay, queen b4 desperately defends the knight so that it just avoids checkmate. But there is a knight d6 check. I mean, now you have to give up your queen. Queen takes d6, e takes d6, and whatever black does, it's checkmate. Or if black goes here, that is queen takes e7, and it's checkmate. So yeah, that's why black resigned the game. Hope you enjoyed this video. Consider subscribing to the channel, like the video, share it to your friends. Thank you everyone. See you in the next video. Bye bye.